Ever wondered what the inside of your body looks like? Let's take a journey deep into one of the most incredible systems we have. Our lungs, they're the engines that power our every breath, but what we do every day can dramatically change them, for better or for worse. Today, we're going to look at the stark difference between healthy, vibrant lungs and the lungs of a smoker. The contrast is more than just skin deep. It's a story of life, function, and survival. First, let's picture a pair of perfectly healthy lungs. Imagine them in your chest right now. They're soft, they're light pink, and they feel almost spongy to the touch. This healthy, bright appearance is a sign of good blood flow and clean, clear airways. When you take a deep breath, these lungs expand effortlessly, filling with life-giving oxygen. Inside, it's like a magnificent branching tree. The main airways, called bronchi, split into smaller and smaller passages, the bronchioles. At the very end of these tiny branches are millions of little air sacs called alveoli. Think of them as tiny balloons. This is where the magic happens. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes through the thin walls of these sacs and into your bloodstream, while carbon dioxide, the waste gas from your body, moves out of the blood and into the alveoli to be exhaled. For this to work efficiently, you need a huge surface area, and that's exactly what healthy alveoli provide. If you were to flatten out all the alveoli in your lungs, they would cover an entire tennis court, but that's not all. The airways of healthy lungs have a secret cleaning crew. They're lined with microscopic, hair-like structures called cilia. These cilia are constantly in motion, sweeping upward like tiny brooms. They move a thin layer of mucus, which traps dust, pollen, and bacteria up and out of your lungs, keeping them clean and preventing infections. It's a perfect self-cleaning system. Now, let's turn to a much darker picture, the lungs of a regular smoker. The visual change is immediate and shocking. Where healthy lungs are pink, a smoker's lungs are often a grim, mottled dark gray, or even black. This isn't just a slight discoloration, it's a physical stain. This happens because the tar and thousands of chemicals in cigarette smoke get inhaled and stick to the delicate lung tissue. Over years of smoking, this toxic sludge builds up, permanently blackening the lungs. It's a visual record of every cigarette, but the damage goes far beyond the color. Remember how healthy lungs are soft and elastic. Smoking attacks this very elasticity. It destroys a protein called elastin, which is what allows your lungs to stretch and spring back. Without it, the lungs become stiff and less efficient. Breathing becomes harder work. Even worse, air can get trapped in the lungs, making it difficult to exhale fully. This directly reduces your lung capacity, which is why smokers often find themselves out of breath during physical activities that non-smokers handle with ease. And what about that amazing cleaning system, the cilia? Cigarette smoke is devastating to them. The hot, toxic smoke paralyzes and eventually destroys these delicate hair-like structures. When the cilia stop working, the mucus, tar, and other trapped particles can't be cleared out. The airways become clogged, creating a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. This leads to chronic infections and that persistent hacking cough known as a smoker's cough. Your body is trying desperately to clear out the gunk that the cilia can no longer handle. This condition is known as chronic bronchitis, a major form of COPD. The damage doesn't stop there. Let's go back to those tiny, vital air sacs, the alveoli. Smoking obliterates them. The toxic chemicals in the smoke cause the thin walls between the alveoli to break down and rupture. Instead of millions of tiny, efficient sacs, you end up with fewer, larger, and irregular air sacs. This drastically reduces the surface area available for gas exchange. It's like trading a tennis court for a small room. This destructive process is called emphysema. With emphysema, your body can't get the oxygen it needs. This leads to constant shortness of breath, low energy, and a struggle to do even simple things like walking across a room. And here's the scariest part. Once the alveoli are destroyed, they are gone forever. The damage is permanent. When chronic bronchitis and emphysema occur together, it's known as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. This is not just a cough or feeling a bit breathless. COPD is a progressive, debilitating illness. Progressive means it gets worse over time. The airways continue to narrow, more air gets trapped, and breathing becomes a constant struggle. People with COPD live with the daily fear of not being able to catch their breath, and the impact of COPD spreads beyond the lungs. When your lungs can't get enough oxygen into the blood, your heart has to work much harder to pump that oxygen-poor blood throughout your body. This immense strain can lead to the right side of the heart becoming enlarged and eventually failing, a condition called cor pulmonale. So, lung disease becomes heart disease. The physical toll is immense, but we can't ignore the emotional and mental burden. Living with a chronic illness like COPD can lead to anxiety, depression, and social isolation. The simple joy of going for a walk, playing with grandkids, or meeting friends can become impossible. The fear of the next breath, the next coughing fit, can be psychologically crushing. Of all the risks, however, one stands out as the most feared: lung cancer. The link between smoking and lung cancer is undeniable. Up to 90% of all lung cancer cases are directly caused by smoking. Here's how it happens. The smoke you inhale is packed with carcinogens, which are chemicals that cause cancer. These carcinogens damage the DNA of the cells in your lungs. Your body tries to repair this damage, but with constant exposure from smoking, the repair systems get overwhelmed. Eventually, a mutation can occur that causes a cell to grow and divide uncontrollably. This is the start of a tumor. What makes lung cancer so deadly is that it's often a silent killer in its early stages. The initial symptoms, like a persistent cough or shortness of breath, are easily dismissed as just a smoker's cough. By the time more alarming symptoms appear, like coughing up blood, chest pain, or unexplained weight loss, the cancer is often spread to other parts of the body. This late diagnosis is why the survival rates for lung cancer are tragically low. After hearing all of this, the path forward is crystal clear. Quitting smoking is the single most important thing you can do to protect your lungs. The moment you stop, your body begins to heal. It's not instantaneous, and members of the damage, like emphysema, is permanent, but the benefits start right away. Your breathing can become easier, your smoker's cough can lessen, and your energy levels can rise. Most importantly, your risk of developing lung cancer starts to drop. Over years, it continues to decrease. Quitting also dramatically lowers your risk of heart attack, stroke, and, of course, slows the progression of COPD. Your body has an amazing capacity to recover, but you have to give it a chance. If you or someone you know is struggling to quit, please know that help is available. There are countless resources, from support groups to nicotine replacement therapies, that can make the journey easier. It's one of the hardest things a person can do, but it is also one of the most rewarding. It's a choice for more breaths, more time, and more life. Thank you so much for watching and taking this journey with us. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that can help you live a healthier, happier life. We'll see you in the next one.